Welcome, my name is Björn Hennig from Avialytics Aviation Analytics. In this tutorial screencast, I will give you an overview over the new Check Vaccination Status feature in our Jumpseater application. So let me get right into it. If you're eligible to jumpseat on aerologic aircrafts, for example as an employee or somebody related to one, you already know this page, which shows up as soon as you log in to the Jumpseater application. It shows you all the previous Jumpseat requests you did, and it allows you to start a new Jumpseat request by launching the Flight Request Assistant. So first thing you have to do is you have to read through the disclaimer and confirm that you read and understood it. Once you did so, the system brings up a flight list in which you are able to select the flight you want to request. Let's do that for the 20th of February and select a flight from Frankfurt, Germany to Chicago, USA. What you see here is that two flights show up on that day, one at 16:05 local, the other one is at 20:15. So far, this hasn't changed. However, what's new is this syringe symbol you see here next to the request. This syringe symbol shows you your current vaccination status regarding to this journey. In our case, it is red. Here we still would be able to make a request. However, in the future, if you have a red status, you won't be able to make a jumpseat request. So what do you do about it? Well, let's close the assistant here and have another look at what we have in our portal. So here we started the new Flight Request Assistant. Next to it, you see a button called Vaccination. If you click on it, it launches the so-called Vaccination portal, which is now a part of the Jumpseater tool. This portal consists of various parts. The first part up here contains all the vaccination you did and uploaded to the system. The next part is for recovery. Then we have something about the test you did and a documentation part. This is on the left side. On the right side, you see what is implied by your selection, basically the travel restrictions. There are certain countries listed here, so when a country is listed here, the system checks regarding your travel restrictions. In our case, all those three countries we have here as an example are telling us we are not allowed to fly there with the data we provided. So what can we do about it? Well, as we see here, I uploaded only one vaccination. However, in order to be considered fully vaccinated, we need two vaccinations. So let's add another vaccination. To do so, I have to select the vaccination type, the vaccine. Let's check Moderna here. And this is important because different countries might accept different kinds of vaccinations and vaccines. I have to select a date. Let's take yesterday, 31st of January, and I'm able to upload a certificate. I can do this either by pressing the upload button and selecting a specific file, or I can simply pull my certificate from my file manager and drop it up here, and it automatically uploads. So I did that. However, if I look here on the right side, it still has a yellow button saying validation pending. That means even though I uploaded the information, it is not yet validated by the OCC because they haven't had a chance to check it. If I would have been recovered from COVID, I could enter this information here, again uploading the specific document. If I want to upload a test, I can do so here by selecting the kind of test I did. Let's take a PCR test and select a test here as well. If I find one, there's one. Put it here. So I uploaded my test. So I set all that. However, what I see is that there are still red buttons here. And this is because the travel restriction was checked for the 1st of February. However, in order to become effective, the vaccination to become effective, they have to be at least 14 days in the past. However, I wanted to fly in the 20s, so if I select the 20s, the system will automatically check and say, well, I'm okay for Hong Kong. However, for Germany, there's still something missing. I'm missing a test, I'm missing documentation. And for the US, it's also pending because there's missing documentation. Let's take the US as an example. In order to travel to the US, I have to also, in addition to test and vaccination, I have to have a certain documentation. And this documentation in this case is a combined passenger disclosure and attestation. So I select it here in the documentation section, select this, select the date when I filled it out, the country it applies to, and then I'm able to upload it here as I did with the other documents. Say OK, and I'm done. Maybe I don't have the template for this. Here the system helps as well. If you look at template, you can click on template and it will automatically direct you to the site of the CDC where you can download the attestation and the documentation here. Okay, we have done that. We have everything set up. So basically now we are good to fly to the US based on our vaccination status. There's one more thing I want to point out, and this is a checkbox down here. Because what is going to happen if you request a flight, you upload all the information, avialytics will delete all this information as soon as possible, meaning if it's not operationally or legally needed anymore. So basically, if you fly now and maybe fly again in two months and the information isn't necessary until then, it will be deleted, so you would have to upload it again. You can avoid this by explicitly consenting that this information is going to be stored on an avialytics server. This allows you to come back to this page and have all your historic data available. However, it is now your responsibility to delete this information. It will not be automatically deleted anymore. Okay, we set all this up. We OK this, get out of the portal. So now, if we start our flight request assistant, it's basically the same scenario. You go through here, you accept, and select the flight you want to fly on. That was the 20th. And it was from Frankfurt to Chicago. Let's go here. Where's Chicago? So what's happening now is you see the syringe turns green, and now you are able to do the request. Again, with the current setup, you would still be able to request even though it's red, but that's going to change in the near future. Okay, so you did everything from your side. So what happens on the other side, on avialytics side? Let's go there. The OCC will receive your request for your flight from Frankfurt to Chicago. There is a bunch of information also required, but we don't get into that right now. So they have all the documents and they also see this syringe. So they are able to check the information you provided by clicking on here. And it brings up their administrative version of the vaccination portal. What they can now do, they see all the information you have here, and they can also validate it. So if they click on validation, it shows the information you uploaded, and they can set this to validate. So now this yellow here turns towards green, and they see, okay, everything is there, it's good. So if they validate everything, you're fine. However, don't do this. We really need the documentation and somebody will look at it. So please validate, otherwise you won't be able or allowed to fly. Okay, so far so good. We checked all that. We closed the vaccination portal from the administrative side, and now basically you're good to go. The ticket can be issued if all the other things are fulfilled. All right, that's it so far. I hope you get the information you needed, and wish you great travels on avialytics as a Jumpseater. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.